Today we are upgrading the Aetherdrift Precon from Aetherdrift. Yeah, it's helmed by none other than Temmet Naktamun's will. Hope I pronounced that right. So yeah, 20 cards out, 20 cards in. Let's do this. Kicking things off as we always do with the commander. So Temmet Naktamun's will, 5 mana, 2 white, blue and a black for a legendary creature zombie wizard that's a 4/4. Vigilance and Menace. Whenever you attack, draw a card, then discard a card. Seems pretty decent. Whenever you draw a card, zombies you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. So notice that's a until end of turn buff, so it doesn't stay around forever. It's not +1/+1 counters. But it's also whenever you attack, not this card or a specific type of card. So you can attack with anything and you will get this trigger. Also, when you draw a card at the start of your turn, it's going to become a 5/5 by default. It has Vigilance, so it's great for attacking and blocking, and it also has Menace, so it means it's got its evasion to get through. This is a fantastic commander for a zombie, like Kindred tribal deck. Let's look at this deck in a bit more depth and break it apart and start upgrading it. I'm still a bit disappointed that it's not got vehicles in. So looking at this deck, first thing you'll probably notice is we're running a whopping 39 lands straight out of the box. Now, it used to be the case that this was a bad thing. Personally, I don't think it's that bad. Yeah, Temmet is a 5 mana commander. You need Esper colours, so one of each colour. 39 lands gives us about a 43% chance of hitting our land drop on turn 5, which is absolutely fantastic. It's what we need. Also remember, Esper colours, ramping is a lot harder, especially when we want to save all of our creature slots for zombies and not using white's catch-up ramp. So yeah, we've got Soul Ring Signet, we've got a couple of the Dimir Signets, Orlov Signets and stuff like that, and the Talismans, which is fantastic. We've got a nasty little Planeswalker in here. I'm probably going to cut that out, but it does create 2/2 zombie creature tokens, which is fantastic for this deck, which also brings on a point that we have quite a bit of token synergy in this deck of being able to make zombie tokens, which I am going to start to lean on a bit because I think that's a good way of going wide. Also, we have cards like Fleshbag Marauder, which is a piece of removal, because the removal in this deck is quite light. We've got Swords, Despark, and then there's a Cast Out. Other ones, we've got Sorcery Speed, which is Never, and then Destroy All Creatures with Power 3 or greater, which is Dusk, which is actually going to hurt your board quite a bit because there's a couple of Lords in here as well. So not the best, but we'll see how we get on. Light on removal, there's a decent token synergy. The other thing as well is the backup commander cares about discarding, so there's quite a bit of cycling and discarding, because obviously Temmet cares about drawing cards. I want to specifically draw cards, I think, in this deck. I don't want to cycle away cards to draw a single card. I just want to burst draw 3, 4 cards, 2 cards, whatever that is, you know, so I can put my team and swing in, give all my zombies evasion, and yeah, I'm going to go for the win that way. So zombie synergies, token synergies, draw lots of cards, which should make up for the lack of ramp, keeping the 39 lands. 20 cards out, 20 cards in. Do it. So here we have, I broke the deck all down into its different sections. As you can see, there's 12 cards here that all care about tokens. There is 9 cards for ramp, there is 4 cards for life drain, there is 9 cards which is all about card advantage, so like drawing, look at the top card of your library, any type of card advantage. 7 cards which are all removal based, and yeah, obviously we've got all the lands. I have cut 20 cards, these are all in the sideboard. I'll leave them in the sideboard so you can see them when you look on Moxie of what has been cut. I'm going to go through those now, and I'll explain why at the end. Cards I'm cutting are Gravecaller, Ashton Scarab's Fist, Lazartop Chancellor, Ret Tomb Mystic, Champion of Wits, Gate to the Afterlife, Cast Out, Maskwood Nexus, Priest of the Crossing, Visor of Many Faces, Angel of Sanctions, Archfiends of Ifnir, Eternal Skylord, but I do understand if you want to keep this because its zombie tokens have flying and it also matters too. We've got Liliana Death's Magistrate, so we can keep this as well if you want to because it creates your 2/2 black zombies, but I just don't like Planeswalkers. Timeless Dragon, Commence the Endgame, Gemplan Polluter, we've got Twisted Abomination, Godbearer's Gift, and then Rothhawk. So why am I cutting all these cards? Well, it's quite simple really. Gravecaller is a combo piece. Yeah, we don't want to put out to people who we're playing against that this is a combo deck, because it's not. We're going to win through combat damage, making zombie tokens, giving them evasion, and going in for the combat win. Ashton Scarab's Fist, yeah. I would sooner leave the mana up on my turn to draw those cards, trick people in combat, you know, get those big blowouts, you know, get a win that way, rather than discarding things, then copying it, and going through those type of cycles and loops. So this basically means all the cycling, all the embalm, all the internalize, all of that type of stuff is coming out. Maskwood Nexus is in here. This is a fantastic card, don't get me wrong. I run it in my Voya deck because I want everything to be an elf and a wolf. But in this deck, I just want things to be zombies, and 99% of our creatures are zombies, so there is no need for this. What else do we have in here? Eternal Skylord and Liliana. So these are both 2 cards which 100% you could keep in the deck and just cut the 2 other cards that I add. I cut Eternal Skylord at the end because I added in Gary Grey Merchant Asphodel, because I wanted that burst of life gain and life loss for our opponents to help stabilize you in the late game in case you get targeted down and beat down, to make sure you can stay alive. Obviously, Liliana's a Planeswalker. If you like Planeswalkers, like Liliana, go for it, use her. Commands the Endgame got cut because it seems to me like it's a lot of mana to amass X and draw X with a number of cards in your hand. If you cast this and you've got a full grip, so you're going to have 6 cards in hand, 6 mana for 6, I don't know, it's not good enough for me. We have no way of making increasing our maximum hand size in this deck, so it just doesn't feel right. I want to spend 6 mana doing something else. Rot Hulk is another one. Like, a lot of people will like this card because it brings stuff back from a graveyard. Return up to X targets zombie cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the number of opponents you have, so at most it's going to be 3. Yeah, 7 mana, get 3 zombies back. You've got to make sure the 3 zombies that you want are in there in the first place. We're not running things like Entomb and stuff like that. So for me, this is not going to be consistent enough for what we want to do. So yeah, obviously there's the God's Pharaoh's Gift and the other artifact, Gate to the Afterlife, for that little combo shenanigans. Don't want that, too much mana. Bish bash bosh. Yeah, more cycling stuff. Don't want it. Anyway, yeah. It's not where we want the deck to be. We want to burst card draw and smash our opponents down with evasion or evasive zombies. So let's quickly go over everything we are adding in this deck. Card advantage wise. We've got Brainstorm, Consider, 3 Steps Ahead, Deliberate, Keep Safe, Frantic Search, Chemisters, Insight. We've got the Graveborn Muse, and we've got Reign of Revolution. So instant speed card draw is fantastic. 1, because it's card draw, lets us draw more cards, see more of our deck, get to what we need, search for that removal because we're light on it, search for those key lord effects. This is what card draw is for, but also in this deck, it's going to buff our team. And because we're doing it at instant speed, we can do it proactively on our turn when we're attacking, or we can do it in response to somebody declaring an attack at us, and then we can block, see if they've got anything to do before damage, they pass priority to go to damage, and we respond. Boom, all of a sudden our board's a lot bigger. Yeah, so all instant speed card draw. We're running things like 3 Steps Ahead and Keep Safe as well, because they draw us cards, but they also counter spells. People are going to probably try and target Temmet here. Yeah, we want to make sure we've got a couple of ways of protecting them. Life drain effects, we've got Gary Grey Merchant of Asphodel, fantastic zombie. Yeah, you could use this to close out the game if you've got a lot of black permanents on the board, draining all your opponents for a massive amount of life while you gain that much life, so helping you put you so far ahead that it's easy then to take your opponents out. We've got Graf, Death Baron, Geralf, Puppet Stitcher, and Holdwing Scab as our lords. Yeah, these are going to give things like Menace, +1/+1. Yeah, gives them flying with Graf, and Holdwing Scab gives flying as well. And then whenever you cast an instant sorcery with Puppet Stitcher, it creates a 2/2 black zombie. But once we've transformed him by owning 3 or more tokens, we're basically going to change all of our zombies into 3/3 zombies rather than the 1/1s or 2/2s which we're already making. And yeah, Holdwing Scab as well. Once we attack, we're going to draw that many cards to discard that many cards, depending on how many opponents we attack with zombies. Removal-wise, we've added in Dark Salvation and Accursed Marauder. Token generation, obviously I've just mentioned Dark Salvation, Graf. We've got Diagraph Colossus, because an enters a big boy, because we're going to have loads of zombies. And then whenever you cast a zombie, it's going to make a zombie. It's a bit like Edgar Markov. Cast a vampire, make a vampire. Geralf we have mentioned. Puppet Stitcher we have mentioned. Rise of the Dreadmore, absolutely fantastic. Creates a bunch of zombies. Yeah, and we can foretell this. So what we can do is we can foretell this, board wipe, and then cast this to make sure we get a massive board state straight after casting a board wipe, which is what we want. And then Wonder Orcus is another fantastic card for this deck. It gives all of our attacking zombies Death Touch once it's equipped. Yeah, and then whenever it deals damage, it's going to create that many zombies. So yeah, we're going to explode on our board state. We're going to give it ourselves Death Touch so people don't want to block us, and then we're going to make loads and loads of zombies. So yeah, let's take a look at this deck with all this added in, show you the mana curve, and everything is all hunky-dory. So here we are with the mana curve of our deck. Obviously you can see it smooths up nicely. We've got the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, and then a nice even end. So this means that once we get to turn 4 and turn 5, we're going to be able to double spell pretty easily. The only thing I would tweak from this point is taking some of our basic plains and basic islands and swapping them for swamps, because obviously you see we're a bit tight on black mana because our deck is even more black focused now. So I'd reduce this down to say maybe 2 plains, 2 islands, and all those removed would then go into swamps. Average mana cost of our deck now is 2.78, which is absolutely fantastic. And like I said, we'll be doing double casting spells by turn 4 and 5. What's not to love? Overwhelm that board, stomp out for a victory. So where do we take this deck from here? Well, it depends on what you want to do and what power level you want to play at. Obviously, more instant speed effects, card draw types effects are going to be fantastic. Yeah, you could go as far as putting things like Ristic Study in to constantly draw cards on your opponent's turn, constantly buffing your team at all points of the game. Yeah, but a lot of people don't like that card, and it is quite strong and paints a target on yourself. Yeah, we could then look as well at tweaking or fine tweaking our zombies in this deck and really cutting the ones that aren't as efficient as the others. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, the removal section of this deck really needs an overhaul. Swords, Path, you know, there's plenty of good black removal, plenty of good blue removal. Obviously, depending on your meta, depends on what you're going to be able to target more, whether you're going to need to target artifacts or enchantments more. Obviously, then you're going to lean on your white and your blue. If you need to remove creatures more, then maybe you'll lean a bit more on your white and your black. So yeah, it all depends on what you want to do. You could go down this route of using black purely for zombies, blue purely for card draw, and then white for your removal and protection spells, using things like T-Pro, Angel's Grace, anything like that to keep you in the game as long as possible, and then split your mana up through your deck like that, which could be a really good, efficient way of developing this deck. But yeah, that's it. It's an absolute solid deck. Like I said, I'm a bit upset that these precons aren't vehicle based in a vehicle racing set, but this is an absolute solid tribal kindred zombie deck. Like, it's going to do some definite work if you pick up this deck, and in my opinion it's the stronger of the two decks, plus easier to upgrade. Anyway, if you want to see what I did with the living energy precon, then yeah, check out that video just there, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye for now.